A very good evening. Welcome to another edition of Sky Blue Fans TV. Sorry for being a little bit late. We had a few technical issues with the sound. Hopefully, we're loud and clear now. Vicky will be joining us shortly as well. I've got Claudio here. We're going to discuss the FA Cup win over Sheffield Wednesday and, of course, the fourth round draw, which was made not so long ago, pairing us with Ipswich at home, which is not too bad, I don't think. Good evening, Vicky. He's just joined us.
Evening. Sorry, I'm late.
Evening. No problem at all. We were running a little bit late anyway, but we're all sound now. Let's get straight into it then. FA Cup. Claudio, you were there obviously as well in the cold. I mean, we had some pictures of the pitch to show you in the fog, which before the game, which was in doubt for a short period, wasn't it, Claudio?
Well, that was a bit deep, wasn't it? Well, when I got to the car park, the guys at the car park said they couldn't see the other end of the car park. And when I arrived at the car park, I couldn't even see the CBS. You could not see it. It seemed miles away.
No.
So yeah, but then I saw the photographs. I think these are the photos you're on about.
These are the pictures of the ground. Yeah, just not long before kickoff, basically. Some of the pictures that were taken. Which obviously put the game in doubt a little bit. I know, I must admit, I was a bit concerned, but as the night sort of went on, the fog did lift, didn't it, Claudia? So it wasn't too bad when we arrived at the stadium. I think we sort of arrived around the same time. Well, it was quite clear.
The fog did lift, but I don't think it helped the referee because he couldn't see anything last night, could he?
Well, we will discuss that.
No, he saw lots of things. He imagined he saw things.
He saw the wrong things, as far as I could see. Yeah, but we'll come to that. Not another great performance by the referee. Who I think I've never heard of him before. I looked at his name, and I don't think we've ever had him before. I think he's probably come from the lower leagues. But,
no, I had a look, Ken. I think we had him for the Swansea game last season.
Oh, did we?
I'm sure. Didn't they not score from a free kick that wasn't a free kick right at the end? So I'm sure it's the same referee.
Yeah, it could well be. I couldn't remember the name, but possibly we've had him. But he was very poor, wasn't he? He was very poor. Yeah. Okay, let's start the game selection then, Claudio. In comes pitching Alan, and a few others. What do you think? Binks, De Silva?
Binks came in, didn't he?
De Silva came in, didn't he?
Alan played against Norwich, didn't he? He started.
Alan played against Norwich, yeah. Alan played, but
the main thing was Asante and Sims up front, wasn't it?
Sims and Asante up front, which
we said. Well, we were talking about it Thursday, and we did actually say you'd have thought with two guys who scored 19 and 12 goals last season.
Yeah,
between them, surely they could score some goals. Well, yet again they didn't. But in saying that, if we'd have signed Ellis Sims on Friday night, and that was his first ever game for us, you'd have said, "Oh, we look like we picked up a player here," because he just played a really good role up front as a centre forward, exactly what you want when you got the ball. I don't understand how all of a sudden you can look really lazy and lethargic to the next game. Look, I won't say a world beater, but a million miles away better to what he was the game before. It was astonishing, really. But Asante just looked the same, didn't he? That guy, he's had 3 chances in the last 3 games. He doesn't even look like he's going to score at the minute. He's
got plenty of skill and ability, but his end product
is
not there, is it?
He was so tentative when that cross came in the second half. You just knew he wasn't going to score. He didn't look like he was going to score. A confident striker just sticks his head behind it and it goes in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I thought Ellis Sims up front led the line perfectly, and we want that Ellis Sims every game. It can't be every 1 in 4 or every 1 in 5. And actually, when they did finally get the ball into him from that great move where Binks knocked it out, the diagonal pass, and we got the cross in, he did what he can do and get the shot in.
Yeah.
Inside the box, and he deserved a goal. Absolutely deserved a goal. It was a great save, and then Thorpe obviously missed up on the rebound. But no, I mean the selection is the selection. That's all we've got as a squad.
Yeah,
we haven't got much, have we? Really? That's it.
We haven't. To be honest, we haven't got. We can't dig down into reserves because we haven't really got any reserves that have played. Oh well, we haven't really So we've got, as you say, it is what it is. But it was nice to see players get some game time that haven't, and they all did well. I thought all the players that came in did really well.
I mean,
Jamie
I know,
Allen, for example, I thought was outstanding.
I know when you got to the ground, it felt cold, and sat in the stand. I mean, 10 minutes to go, I'm thinking, please don't let them equalise. Just get it done, because
Yeah,
I think I can sit here for another 40 odd minutes.
we didn't want extra time. We just did.
No. And then when
You
you
know,
got outside, you could really feel it. I thought, that's not a comfortable night to be playing football in. I don't care if you're running around. It's not a great night. But yeah, the selection wise, it is, as Mark Robbins used to say, it is what it is, because that's all we've got.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, I quite agree with you. Vicky, you were pleased to see Sims start, weren't you?
Yeah. I think, I mean, like Claudia said, if we want to see I mean, I said on Thursday, tongue in cheek, that we will see the best of him once we start a new year.
Yeah.
And so obviously that's happened again. But I really think that if we want to consistently see the better of him, we can't just bring him on for 10 minutes at the end of games. He needs a run of games. Like, you've got to start him like he did on Saturday and play him for a few games, like make him feel like he's a striker that's going to be picked. Because I think that's what happened at this time last year. Like, he'd been in and out of the team a little bit, and then Robin sort of just seemed to decide in January time that Sims was going to be the sort of main striker, and he really seemed to thrive on that, and we saw the best of him the second half of the season. And so, like, if we want to see the best of him, I don't think no striker thrives just feeding off scraps at the end of games, do they? So, yeah, I mean, I still would like to see. I mean, I'd like to see Brissett starting rather than Asante, because I still would like to see them two get some like consistent game time together. But I thought other than that, I was slightly surprised that De Silva started. I thought it probably would have been Bidwell, but
although he did okay, to be fair.
Yeah. I just think of the two, especially in a game that's going to be fairly tight. I would always go Bidwell in that scenario. But I thought Kitchen deserved. I thought Kitchen had a relatively decent game at Norwich. So I thought he deserved his place again, and probably Allen as well. And they both turned up again, and it was nice to get
Allen was captain.
Yeah.
Jamie Allen. Yeah. So I thought he did well. I say all the players that came in, I thought put a shift in, to be fair, and they all did well. And it's consistency, isn't it? It's whether they can do that every week, which we know they don't. That's the problem. If they can do that every week, we wouldn't be in trouble, would we? We'd be picking up positive results every week. But I thought overall, all the players that came in did well. Claudio, as for the match and the goal,
sorry,
first goal, the match, yeah.
Well, the first goal, it looked like our defending, didn't it, from a corner? I mean, a bit of confusion. It's amazing when the ball drops in the box and there's a bit of confusion and someone swings a leg at it. But he took it like a forward, didn't he? Kitchen.
Brilliant finish in Kitchen, yeah. You don't see him up there that often, do you?
You see Asante in the same position would have probably tried to bring it down and try to make certain of it, but he just swung a leg, it's flown in. And it's weird because we didn't really. It was a bit bitty, wasn't it? The whole first half, even up until we scored. They came to spoil it. Really, they weren't too bad on the break, but they didn't really show much at all.
They've certainly done a lot of rolling around when they wanted free kicks.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes we are our worst enemies, though, because there were times before we scored the goal where we got in good positions in the final third, and we go to slip a ball through, and they're playing the right pass. They seem to just hit it so hard at the minute. It rolls off the pitch. There's so many times where it just needs that bit of finesse in that last third. It really does. We're not a million miles away from it at all. It's that one player who, I don't want to keep banging on about players who have left, but we know the two main players who have left in the last 18 months. They're the kind of players that are hard to replace, and it shows. For all the skill, Torp, I thought I had a half decent game last night, but he hit the deck too often. He's got to be stronger. Has to be stronger. Rudoni, when he's on the ball, he works really well. When he's off it, he needs to do a bit more. I think still, but and it's that final pass. It is that. I mean, Jamie Allen, he's just a little. He's like a Duracell, isn't he? He's like that rabbit from
little
the
terrier, weren't he?
You know,
was yesterday.
It's almost like because Sheaf and Eccles weren't starting it, he felt you can see that responsibility. I think he really
he stepped up to the mark. I thought.
Yeah, I think he did, and he's, to be honest, he always has done, and he can score goals from midfield. He's done it. He scored about 8 last season, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You know, he will pop up with the odd goal, but I mean, the goal itself. I mean, it was good. We had some good deliveries into the box with the corners, and
it was a corner. We don't normally score from corners, do we? Very rare.
Well, we say that we got 9 last season, apparently.
Oh, did we? Oh, well, okay. We're improving then because
I mean the deliveries are good, and the keeper wasn't happy. You know, he was. Although he played well, their keeper, he didn't like those balls going in underneath the crossbar.
No, he didn't.
It was well taken. Swung his leg back of the net.
Yeah, and that's all you can ask for. Vicky, did you think the performance of the players that came in did well? Obviously. Would you expecting Tavares to again? He never came on, did he? That's one play I expect. I thought, to be honest, he might play. I thought he might start, but he never. And I thought
if he's still here at the end of January,
he's going to come on.
If he's still here at the end of January, it makes no sense at all because we're not playing him.
No,
he's not getting anyone on loan. It's just really odd with him, isn't it? I don't really see. I mean. That's the sort. I mean, I guess it's a difficult one, isn't it? Do you think? I mean, we spoke about this on Thursday as well. That he's got a goal in it. He's also someone that'll win around and has on occasion shown some. He looked good when he came on against Wolves and Man United. So he has turned up in some games. Yeah. But equally, he looks a bit vulnerable, like when we haven't got the ball. And I think probably lack of game time isn't helping him there because he hasn't really had the opportunity to play in lots of competitive games, learn about what to do when we haven't got the ball. And I wonder if that sometimes hinders him. They won't put him on because we've only got a one. Like if it had been maybe 2-3-0.
Yeah, I thought that. I thought it was a close game. I thought maybe he was going to bring him on and then decided because it was only one that he didn't want to mess it up. But
because we did that last season, didn't we? He came on. Was it being Maidstone because he got a couple of goals at the end, or was it Oxford? I can't remember now, but he did
one of them games.
We were comfortably ahead, and then he came on and just added a couple of goals.
Yeah,
I think both games, Vicky. I think he scored in both games late on.
Was it?
I think he's spent. I think he's done. I don't think he's going to get in. He's gone. I reckon. If he can't get on yesterday for that cup game, I mean, he put Raphael on. I mean, he's like supposedly come back from a long injury.
What did you think? What did you think of Raphael? Because we had a little bit of a longer look at him, didn't we?
Yeah, I don't think. Did he touch the ball?
A couple of times he touched.
I can't make an opinion on that, Ken, at all. Because when he came on, we were up against it. Really, the back end of that game. It was a bit weird because in 70 minutes when they made the substitution,
they brought Bannon on, didn't they? Barry Bannon.
Well, and to be honest, Windass as well. When the pair of them were on the pitch, all of a sudden Sheffield changed. The whole structure of the team changed. They looked more confident on the ball. It looked like they got a couple of players they could pass the ball to, whereas before they were struggling really to get the ball out or anything. Nothing was happening. But Bannon comes on, and he don't run a lot, does he? He just stands there in the middle of the park.
He knows what he's doing, doesn't he? He's just like pings the ball here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, he just picked it up and got the team moving. And for that last 20 minutes, we retreated. We didn't do enough to see that game out again. We didn't. 1-0. I mean, the incident with Binks.
I was going to come to that. This is one of the referees. I thought he made a mistake from my point of view because he should have allowed the corner to go ahead, and then if he needed to go off the pitch, ask him to go off the pitch.
Well,
he was happy to carry on.
He was bleeding. That was the problem.
Right. Okay.
So he had to go off. But what we should have done, Binks should have lay on the floor and said, "I can't move. I feel a bit woozy."
Exactly. He should have.
I don't know what we're doing at times. Yeah. Or anybody should have gone down. Or make the substitution there. Do something to delay that corner to throw them off the.
Give it a couple of minutes breathing space to try and get him back on the pitch.
Yeah, because there's no way you can shift him if he says I feel a bit woozy. You can't say, "Oh, go on, walk off the pitch." Then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In fact, he was with the referee.
Technically a head injury, isn't it? Because he's bleeding. He's bleeding up. So it's head injury. So Really, he should have.
You knew as soon as he went off, they were going to score.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is where I don't understand, and Vicky probably wants to talk about this, why he took Sims off. I don't understand that. Because Sims was a great game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
strange substitution.
It was a bit premature because I thought he probably thought we'd won it when he took him off.
No.
And he was a bit.
So you always see that Sims goes back in defensively. He offers something as well. So when because you can always see that he knows he goes back. He's got his spot to defend, and so he'll offer something at both ends of the pitch if he's having a good game. So yeah, that was an odd one.
Yeah, I would have left him.
The trouble was as well. It was like as if all the players got wound up about the fact that Binks had to go off. Even though that's obviously, I mean, technically that's right. He's bleeding. He's got to go off. That's the rule.
We're just naive the game,
but it's like all the players got so wound up because even the defenders that were left on, like no one did anything for that corner. Like it just was if we forgot to even defend. So not only were we a man down, it was like nobody bothered to defend it. I mean, it was so soft.
Yeah, but as Claudia said, he should have stayed on the floor.
Well, even gets someone else to go down. Someone else goes down and said, "Oh, I'm hurt." Like they can't prove. I mean, like, other teams do stuff like that all the time. It's too naive.
You could, definitely could have delayed that corner a little bit longer and give us a little breathing space because with him going off, I mean, Lampard was going absolutely mental at the fourth official. I don't know. He can't do much about it, can he? But
it's over the fourth official.
Yeah,
they get it all.
He's getting a lot of earache.
I'll tell you what's good was to hear Lampard kind of, say that he wasn't happy with the officiating when he blamed the referee. I thought Mark Robbins never used to do that, did he? I thought finally we feel like I got a manager who feels like the fans felt and that the referee was poor.
Well, he said there was a few strange decisions out there. I mean, let's talk about where did you see the goal that got disallowed? The one that got disallowed from?
I was cheering
because I couldn't see anything. I've looked back at that and I still can't see anything. If it was a foul, it was a foul by their player on their goalkeeper.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Like,
he was stood there, referee. He'd got his whistle ready, and he was going to blow for a foul.
Regardless,
because there's people doing a bit of an argy-bargy, weren't they? He'd already spoken to a couple of people. The ball comes in, and he blew the whistle before. He just blew it early, pretty much. Yeah, and it was a poor decision because there was no foul. There was no foul whatsoever, and there's no foul because hardly any of their players complained apart from the keeper. But it was his own player that backed into him. That's
the only thing I can see. And I thought, well, have I missed something here? Because I couldn't see any problem at all. And Lampard obviously said in his interview afterwards that there was a few strange decisions out there from the officials, which he was right. There was more than a few. I think there was quite a lot of free kicks that they got, which we didn't get, if you like, in a similar sort of situation. Where their players went down rolling around and got the free kick when ours similar sort of foul and we got nothing.
It was exactly the same against Norwich. That was exactly the same against Norwich. Every time we breathed on one of their players, the ref gave it. I mean, like Claudia just was saying about Lampard coming out and saying that about the officiating. I never had a massive problem with Robbins not saying that. I almost thought that sometimes it probably doesn't help if you get a reputation for always criticising the officials. But it's done us no good. It's not helped us by being nice and not saying anything. So you might as well go the other way. It's like having a bit of a dig about it because it can't get any worse.
Because everybody else does. Yeah, I mean, he's got. I presume there was an assessor. There's normally an assessor sitting in the stands for the referee.
I thought it was you, Ken. Don't you do the assessing?
Well, if I was assessing it, he wouldn't get a high mark, put it that way.
There was 20,000 fans assessing him last night.
He wouldn't get a very high mark from me. But there must have been an assessor in there, and surely he'll pick up on some of the errors he made, which was quite a few errors, really, throughout the match, and they're big errors as well, not little ones, big errors that cost us. Well, it cost us extra time, didn't it? And in the end, penalties.
Shall I read some comments out?
Yeah, go on. We've got some comments. Let's get rid of some comments.
I'll never catch up with them.
We don't get too far behind.
Tight game and result yesterday. These players are crying out for some sort of guidance and stability. We need to get experience in. As for the cup draw, it's winnable, but a bit boring and grey. GLB boxing. We need a midfielder that can pull the strings and dominate teams. Someone like Bannon. He came on yesterday and was class above everyone. Bomber Bidwell was wishing for ball 6, Villa at home. Assassins Unite. Even all, things are looking better slowly but surely. A good result which seemed to lift both players and fans in Frank we trust. On the up was freezing cold, but the penalties warmed us up. Glad we got a home tie. For the referee, a Yorkshireman says it all. Strange actually that was, yeah. Doug Pollam says to GLB Boxing, totally agree. My head went down when I saw Bannon waiting to come on. Lee Lawton says we need Bannon. Gibbo, the officials have been bad for a long time now, but I don't think I've seen a bad performance the ref put in yesterday. Shocking linesman, says Lee, so far behind the play. Hello all, it's me, or did we get worse as the game went on? That was from Aaron. Mark Cunningham, even all, Sims had the best game for ages. Jordan Williams, winnable. Now, can Dean Austin get his finger out or get back to St Albans along with Alan Williams? Wasted wages. Matthew Stone, 2 games, 2 up top. Both times got ourselves the lead. But last 10, 15 of each been quite negative approach. And both times we've been pegged back. Glad we won. More positive subs in extra time. I wonder if you just ran out of legs. Maybe that's what the problem is. We don't look particularly fit as a team compared to some others.
Well, it's a bit we conceded two stoppage time goals in consecutive weeks, haven't we now? Really?
Well, it's just not that. It's other games as well. We've let in some late goals, haven't we? Yeah. We've looked weak towards the end of the game. Did anyone else notice the referee giving Dovin the filthiest stare during the penalties? No, not from my end. Matthew Stone says, bring on the tractor boys. Offer of mercy, a decent draw, but think we'll need Haji Wright, Efron to really test the tractor boys. Personally, I just want to win against Bristol City next week. Big game. Yeah. Bomber big well. All the hot and bothered City fans warmed the place up and cleared the pitch and the fog. Football's all about result. We got through, that's all that matters. Officials were all full. The linesman missed several clear offsides. He did actually in the second half. Terrible. Ben Green, anyone understand how our second goal was disallowed? The keeper literally parried the ball to Thomas, yet fouled. Gibbo, as soon as Bannon came on, he controlled the game. We sat back again, trying to defend the 1-0 lead. The more worrying thing was that it continued in extra time, so it needs addressing, needs some signings. Assassins Unite, bring on the horses, tractor boys. It's a made-up thing. Bring on the horses. Doug Bolam,
They've got a horse in their badge, isn't they? I think.
Oh, right. As Casey in the Sunshine Band once sang, no, Vicky Ellis Sims, Vicky's Ellis Sims. Parts, we should have scored more goals and won that game easy. I was expecting Wednesday to come back and win. Alan Thomas, when Claudia spoke of Sims, Vicky's smiles came straight out. Sante just not good enough for this league, according to Lee. Peter Doolan, good evening. All that should hopefully give the team some confidence and hopefully take them into the league performances. Ipswich is winnable, but with the right mentality. Paul Thompson, not Alan's number 1 fan, would have probably let him go a couple of seasons ago, but must admit, I think he's made a big difference in the last 2 games. Matthew Stone, a guy a couple of rows in front of me, did nothing but chunder about Sims for about 30 minutes. Glad he shut up eventually. Matthew, you get that. I had a guy, I can't say his name, well, can I just say, I've sat in the seat, we won again. Another game we've not lost. Sat in the seat.
Yes.
There's a guy who just moans about certain players. He used to moan about Victor all the time. And then when he'd score a goal, he shut up for 5 minutes. You're thinking, oh, just please stop moaning about the same player over and over again. It's just, and then they do something. And I always say to Luca, is he going to praise him for doing that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Gives the ball away next time, starts having a go at him. You know, it's every time. Ben Green, it's similar to last season. Sims only seems to get up for it in the FA Cup fixtures. Trevor thinks Vicky Sims happy tonight. Jack Saunders, sausage roll. Yes. Comical boxer. Hi, folks. Great show as usual. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did I see Ellis Sims actually run 3 times in the match yesterday? Wonder will never cease. And maybe someone's had a word with him.
Well, Lampard and the coaches might be working hard with him too, because there's a player in there somewhere. We know he can do it because he has done it. He's done it before, hasn't he? He's got
all the attributes. The size of the guy Yeah, he should be bullying. That's what he should. And it's bizarre because he's come up against weaker defences than that last night, and yet he gave them a hard time.
Yeah.
You know, they got two big guys at the back there. Is that Bernard? Is that the one who did the elbow on Allen? It is, isn't it?
Was that the one who got sent off with Kitchen?
Yeah, he's the one who put the elbow on Allen. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
The one who scored as well.
That's right. Didn't he get sent off when Kitchen got sent off after the final whistle that time?
Was that the same part? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. You know, so he's a big lump, isn't he? And it's almost like he thrived on it. Weird, absolutely weird. Jamie Allen couldn't make the lounges because he was injured, wasn't he? Gavin Collins, hi all, would really love to know why Sims was chosen to be subbed instead of BTA. Criminal decision. Sims worked the socks off and looked a threat. BTA offers nothing at all for me. Dovin definitely looks more and more confident and vocal every game.
I must admit, I was impressed with Dovin yesterday. I thought he did really well. I thought he commanded his box, and I thought he made some good saves at the vital times.
At some stage, you have to allow players to play matches. I think you can't just keep changing them. And I mean, to be honest, what did he do wrong? He had a bit of a howler at QPR, and then was out of the team, wasn't he? But he made some decent saves last night. He did against Norwich as well. You know, Day Sports Photos. It's a measure of how bad we've been that Allen's presence has actually made us better. Mind you, Lily Allen would probably have made us better. But it does say something that a player looked like he was on his way out was our best midfielder, which is an absolute nonsense when we spent how many millions to improve the team, and yet someone's been here 4 or 5 years. You know, was outshining everyone yesterday. Because even when Josh came on at first, he was all over the place, wasn't he? Trying to get up to speed. And they were making loose tackles. That's one thing Torp was doing. I thought too many times he got the wrong side of the player and was pulling him back or tripping him up. Yeah, that's something they've got to work out. They've got to get back and make the tackles. They've got to work off the ball. Graham Cockrell says, I would like to say I'm seeing improvement in every game. We are not there yet, but we are going in the right direction. Seeing Frank's reaction to the win, it meant so much for him. I hope it rubs off on the team. Gavin says, Kitchen also had a good game. I'll tell you what the referee didn't do. He didn't book him in the first half when he looked like he put one on that player. After about 2 minutes, and he called him over. I thought, don't tell me he's going to get a booking after 2 minutes. He had a quiet word with him, didn't he? He didn't actually do anything. Which I said to Luke, I said, that's given him license to do another one now, hasn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, but he didn't waste his time booking as the game went on. He booked a couple of our players for literally nothing, didn't he, really?
Mad Frankie, Sheffield played like they didn't give a monkeys until Bannon came on. I thought I'd change that with our no swearing policy. Doug Bowlam, a massive big up to SBA. That crowd was bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I expected about 16, 17. What was it more? It was 20, wasn't it? Just over 20. Does that surprise you?
Well, yeah, man, they can't lie because they're actually tickets sold, aren't they?
Yeah,
so
all tickets sold.
But it looked quite full, didn't it?
It's full round by us, yeah. And obviously the big away end behind, they took 5,000, didn't they? So obviously they filled their allocation. But I was expecting probably slightly less, probably 16,000, 17,000. But to be honest, the ground looked pretty full, and it was for a cold Saturday evening. It was quite encouraging, really.
Yeah. Matthew, I think you forget Matthew. They scored a last-minute winner. When you say picking up positive results, we did draw with Sheffield Wednesday at home. Let's remember. Yeah, but the overall outcome was a win, wasn't it? At the end of the day. Yes,
and it was. I mean, I want to go on your feelings when that goal went in. You knew that it's going to go to penalties. Then, what was your feeling, Claudio? Penalties, because obviously we're not at the best of luck with penalties. Were you feeling, here we go again?
Well, we'll talk about the extra time first, because to be honest, when they scored late on, I thought, oh no, they're going to get the momentum. Yeah. And I was worried that we're going to just lose it in extra time.
No, we had a great chance in extra time, didn't we?
Yeah, in all fairness, I thought we did all right in extra time, and they didn't offer anything really. I don't know what Vicky thinks. I didn't think it was too difficult in extra time.
No, because like you, Claudio, I thought that you're thinking, oh, they've got the momentum. Obviously, we know we've got issues with confidence, and you're just thinking, we're going to throw this away now. And so that was a worry, but I think that we were fairly comfortable through extra time. And so in some ways, I mean, we didn't really want the extra time and these penalties, but in some ways, it actually might have done us some good because there was some character shown there, and also we've managed to. I mean, up until like the last two penalty shootouts, I always felt relatively comfortable in a penalty shootout, and that we had a chance. And then you sort of start to get a bit of trauma because we lost two and we're in quite important situations, and you're thinking, oh, so actually that to win one and turn that around before it becomes a bit of a like mind thing. So actually, the way we win that game hopefully would have done some good from a character and sort of confidence perspective, and helped out.
I mean, I turned to my mate and said, "I think this is going to go to penalties now." In extra time, I thought I just thought it was going to go to penalties. I had that funny feeling, and I thought, "Oh, here we go again." But I thought, well, surely we've got to have a little bit of luck sometime. We've got to hopefully try and win the toss, try and get it down at the end we want, which we did.
Yeah.
We obviously won that toss, and obviously we lost the other one with them going first.
Yeah.
Didn't we? So
well, at least it was down our end and not their fans. And also,
which is good. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what anybody else thinks, but you just knew Jake was going to miss, didn't you? I just knew when he stepped up and he hit it.
I was surprised he volunteered, to be honest. I didn't expect Jake Bidwell to go forward.
It was going in a good area, but it got no pace on it. And the keeper, I mean, if the keeper gone the other way, we'd been saying, "Oh, fantastic penalty," but it was a bit weak. Can I just say, Josh Eccles has never missed a penalty in the shootout. I think it's 5 or 6 out of 6 shootouts.
I was quite confident with Josh. I thought he'd be down there. I thought Josh is going to take one. I was thinking, obviously, Sims off the pitch. Sims would probably have took one if he was on the pitch.
I'm not sure if Sims is a penalty taker. He's never took one in a game, even if he's on the pitch.
But I just got the impression he would have took one if he was. I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, some players don't do that. There's some players that don't.
Yeah.
And
I obviously thought he'd come up to take it. He'd missed his last penalty for us, didn't he, in that game?
Yeah.
So I was a bit worried about him. But fair play to him, he put it away. And Radoni, he scored as well. He's penalty. They were good penalties, really. Apart from but they're all on target, weren't they? More than we can say for theirs. I mean, they're number 9 over the bar, weren't it?
Oh, so funny, wasn't it?
It was hilarious. But oh my god!
I know.
It was a striker, number 9. I thought.
Imagine being on the 8444, that coming out of the fog. What's that?
It was horrendous penalty.
Oh, Ken, do you want your ball back, by the way? I've still got this old ball of yours here. I think that's the one you used when you were a kid, wasn't it? Look at the state of that.
I goes back. That's been worth a few bit of bob. Yeah, I'll have it back. It's worth a bit of money.
No, that was as deflated as I was. Norwich.
I think we've got the penalties. Certainly got the save. We've got both penalties. We have got them on there.
I'm in charge of the controls here.
We have got the Dovin's save.
Have we now?
We have near the other end, top end.
Well, we've got something. I don't know. Shall I just press something and see what happens?
Go on. It's either the winner or the save.
This is high tech. This is, viewers.
You got a bonus there.
So nothing to do with the penalty at all.
No. That was not a penalty, was it? Shall I try this one?
Yeah, come on.
Are you sure you're on it? Ken's disappeared. What's happened to him? Where's Ken gone? It's black screen. He's gone in hiding. He's like one of those IRA terrorists. Remember when he used to do the interviews?
Just the voice.
And change the voice. Yeah. I thought I was quite confident he would save one. I don't know about you, Vicky. I just got this feeling that he would.
Yeah. There's certain goalkeepers that you sort of, I don't know, just give a bit of all of the ability to actually contribute to a penalty shootout, and he just have that bit of a vibe about him, doesn't he? He looked like he was up for it, and I think that I mean, again, that was done him some good, won't it? I think that he's another player that got written off earlier in the season prematurely. I think a bit like F1, a young player that's coming into like a different level than they've played. And rather than sort of giving them chance to settle, people go, "Oh, I'm not sure about him." And actually, since he's come back in, I've been impressed with him. And I think he already looks better than the goalkeeper he was at the beginning of the season. So he's obviously been looking to improve. And so yeah, I look at him, and hopefully some more regular game time. And hopefully we've got the number one we've been looking for, really. So yeah.
I also thought that their keeper looked massive, though, compared to Dovin.
Yeah.
He was jumping up and down, wasn't he? And I thought, we're actually going to get one past him. But the lads, shall I let him back in the room? Ken's back there.
I don't know. Did you knock me off when you put them penalties on?
Oh, Ken, you can't use language like that on a live screen show. It's not that kind of show, Ken.
I think you knocked me off.
And, I definitely did not this time. No, we're just saying how Dovin. We felt confident Dovin would stop one, and that their keeper looked huge when he's jumping up and down the line. But our lads took them away beautifully, I thought. He's on the screen now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened then. Yeah, it was a good save from Dovin, and it was a pressure penalty from Bizet, wasn't it? It was really just hit the target, basically, get it in, and he was right in the corner. Keeper guessed the right way, but it was good enough, wasn't it?
It was. I'm just trying to get back up with the comments now. I'll let you continue, Ken.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that it was nice to win the penalty shootout, isn't it, Vicky? Because after what we've been through with penalties, we know what it feels like to lose, and we didn't want that again because we've had that feeling on a couple of occasions, and it's not very nice. So it was nice to be on the winning side of a penalty shootout, wasn't it?
It just helps with confidence, isn't it? And I think, people were sort of saying, "Oh, do we care? Like, do we need to concentrate on the league?" But actually, these cup games, like, if they go well and you sort of like get some confidence from them, they can do you. I mean, it could do our season the world of good. Yeah. Just a few games and getting some decent results, and just taking that sort of form and confidence into the league can be massive, can't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I said last week, if we go out, I'm not too bothered. It's funny when you're sat on the ground, how you do become bothered, don't you? As soon as the kickoff starts, you want to win that game, don't you?
Yeah.
There's no way I wanted to lose last night and go out. I
was amazed by the Sheffield Wednesday manager's comments afterwards, saying that they deserve to win now. There's no way they deserve to win.
I don't know what game he was watching.
I don't know what game he was watching. No. But he seemed to think they dominated the whole game. Well, no, I'm sorry, he didn't. You maybe had a couple of chances in the last sort of 10, 15 minutes, but that's about it.
No, even the guy who they took off, is it Gassama? I think he played quite well against us the first time round.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and he did nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So we march on to the fourth round, then, don't we?
We do.
Yeah. Shall we get the? Shall I get the draw up? Here's the draw.
It's an interesting draw, actually. There's some tasty games there. Van Nistelrooy going back to Old Trafford. Leicester against Man United. Millwall, that'll be tasty.
Yeah, possibly off the pitch more than on it.
Brighton, Chelsea, interesting. Yeah.
I don't know about you, Per. Did you when Preston was drawn out?
Yeah.
I was like, no.
What I thought. No.
Straight away, I thought, please, no, not Preston. They've got to go out before we go. Then Exeter came up. I thought, all right, another trip down to Exeter, that'd be quite nice.
Yeah.
But it's too far in the winter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's too far in the winter. It's lovely in the summer.
I'm actually pleased with our draw. I wanted a home draw. It's a Premier League side who are, I wouldn't really, by name only, as far as I'm concerned. They're not going to play a strong team because they desperately want to stay in the Premier League. We've got a chance of getting through to the fifth round. Isn't that what we want? I'm not bothered about playing. I don't want to play Villa. I don't want to go to Villa Park and get humiliated or then come to Highfield Road to the CBN. I'm not interested in playing Villa at all.
I'd rather get, as you say, I'd rather get a home draw, get through, and then maybe meet one of the big boys later on in the competition, like we did last year. And Ipswich at home is a winnable game. They made 9 changes to their team, I believe, at the weekend, and they still managed to win. But
I mean,
they won't play them.
Brighton made a load of changes and get 4 past Norwich.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Leicester as well. That's a big win, wasn't it? You didn't expect that, did you? I was
half expecting Stoke City, Mark Robbins.
Oh yeah, that was what I thought might happen.
They've got a home tie against Cardiff, and they were the last out the hat, weren't they? Stoke, second to last out.
They'll probably
the thing is as well that like you said about Brighton, like resting players and doing a good job on Norwich and things like that. They're teams that have been in the Premier League for a while now, aren't they? Ipswich, when they're resting players and bringing in, aren't going to be having the same standard of reserves that like some of the more established Premier League teams will have, will they? So if Ipswich are playing their sort of lesser players, it'd probably be some players that we've seen before when they were like in the Championship and stuff, weren't it? It's gonna whereas Brighton, they're subs like decent Premier League players still, aren't they? Because they've got a better squad generally. So I was a bit disappointed, just in so much as I'd quite liked it to be someone we haven't played very much recently. It just seems that we can be playing like the same teams all the time. Like there's teams in the draw that are beatable that we haven't played in a while. So I just prefer to that really.
Good shout out, big shout out for Tamworth, by the way. They're brilliant today. I thought I watched their game against Tottenham. They were very lucky. Took them to extra time and.
Yeah, this is where I should have replayed.
A bit of a scrappy goal.
I mean, why can't they have a rule where if Premier League teams play each other, no replay, but if they play against a lesser team, then there's a replay.
Yeah.
Why not? Especially, I mean, Tamworth should have had a replay. They deserved a replay after 90 minutes.
Without a doubt, without a shadow.
And what's the joke? Is you've got all these big clubs moaning. So first of all, Spurs rested, although they had to send on the big boys like they did against us, didn't they, to get the game won? Yeah. But they've got obviously a squad of players. They moan about there's too much football. So Tamworth have been robbed of the money they would have made and the experience of going to White Hart Lane or whatever it's called these days. And so they've been robbed of the money and the experience because the big clubs are moaning saying there's too much football. And then in the summer, no doubt Spurs will be off to some sort of China or America for some one of these things. So they don't rest their players. Like they're like fit enough to play in competitions that raise money for the club, but they're not prepared to give the FA Cup the respect it's due. And I think it's disgusting for teams like Tamworth who deserve the replay in that situation, and they've been robbed of that just for a few big clubs moaning a lot.
Yeah, and Tottenham got Villa now, haven't they, in the next round? So it'll be interesting. I bet they won't rest many against Villa.
I think we'd have struggled at Tamworth if that had been us on that Astra pitch.
We probably would have, yeah.
It didn't look great to play on, that's for sure.
No. There was certainly more use.
The ball runs funny, doesn't it, on those 4G pitches? So I guess if you're used to it, so that does give Tamworth an advantage, doesn't it? Like they're used to it.
Yeah, they're a good guy on the left wing, didn't they? I thought it was quite useful.
I'll tell you what, they have some decent players. Yeah, I mean,
the electrician, the plumber, the guy who works at that shop.
The guy works at Aldi. Yeah, that plays the back.
It's hilarious, really. I just love the fact you had to get on someone's shoulders to fix the net before the game. That's Sunday morning stuff.
That's a throwback to Sunday League, isn't it?
Absolutely classic, that was.
Yeah, it's a throwback to those cold Sunday League mornings when you had to fix a net. Yeah.
I think the players had to go out after the game finished to get the nets down.
Yeah, I'm glad. I mean, they obviously made quite a bit of money out of that game, so that'll keep them going for a few years, I presume.
But they'd have made $1 million if they'd have been at Spurs, possibly.
Yeah.
Their overheads are 1.6 million a season or something. It's balmy. I mean, they are. They're not semi-professionals as what they used to be. They do. Some of those lads get paid a decent wage to play sort of National League, but it's obviously nowhere near Football League standards. This is comment from Phil Bevan. Even everyone, better yesterday, but still have to finish games off. Until we do that, we're still in trouble. Chris Foster says, can I say, I know it's been mentioned before, but somebody changed that drum. I'll put money towards it because the drum we've got is no good. That's interesting.
What's up with it then? What's up with the drum as well?
Maybe they need to mic it up.
Maybe,
you can't hear it as much anymore. You used to have to hear it more.
I must admit, no, we used to hear it a lot more than we do. Whether that, for whatever reason, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it was 2-3 players away from being a decent team. Foundations there, but we do not have that spark to unlock a team. Doug Bolam, the team as a whole is slowly improving. Long may it continue. Now, this is interesting because Matt Frankie, never mind Burrows and Howley coming back to strengthen the deck. Yeah, now they're bringing them in. Now, sometimes they bring players in. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to play, do they? It means he has a look at them. He might send him back out again.
It's interesting that he's recalling these two players, Jack Burrows and Ryan Howley, being recalled from their loan spells in Scotland, aren't they? So
because Ryan Giles got recalled from us, and then he went out on loan to Middlesbrough, was it? From
That's
us,
right. Yeah.
You know, and
it may be they're not getting enough game time. I don't know how many games they've played up there.
Well, we need cover. They need to come back anyway. We just need.
Yeah.
I mean, Milan yesterday did a lot of running, and even towards the end of the game, we had that sprint down the flank in the second half of extra time. And I'm thinking, this guy has not had a break. He's not had a break, has he? He's absolutely not had a break at all.
No,
it's ridiculous.
No one to replace him, is there?
Any other time, he wouldn't have started yesterday. Somebody else would have started at right back or right wing back.
Yeah, and it probably would have been an ideal time to play one of the younger players, wouldn't it, yesterday?
Yeah, well, Jack Burrows played a few games just before, hasn't he? When I can't remember who. Maybe when Dabby was injured, maybe I can't remember now, but he's played a few games.
I think Howley came on a couple of times as sub, hasn't he, as well?
I mean, I think it's harder. I think the midfield. I think it's harder for Howley to get a chance because that's. I mean, you don't want to say it's a more important role, but I think it's a role where you get shown up more, isn't it? I think that probably as long as you can defend relatively well and you contribute, the right back, you can probably give a young player a chance a bit more. I mean, we've probably seen that, haven't we? Because a lot of our youth players in recent years, where we've been loaning in young players, have been like Matson or the bloke from Man City. Because I think it's a sort of position where you can bring in a young player and give them a chance because they've got cover. Whereas it's harder, I think, for Howley to probably get regular game time because it's a slightly vulnerable position if he has a bad game. But yeah, I mean, Burrows could have played yesterday if he was here, couldn't he? And give him Milan a rest.
Yeah, I think they're all going, Vicky. I think in the season. Yeah.
Interestingly, it looks like the guy they were after from Crystal Palace has got eyes on the MLS in America.
Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
So I'm hearing.
Yeah, well, they're going to pay big bucks, aren't they?
So that's one we maybe not get over the line. But
Assassins Unite says, really pleased for Frank. You can tell he's desperate to succeed. Finn, yet again, we conceded late, unable to hold on when we could have brought Tavares on to relieve the pressure. Feel sorry for the lad. He's decent. Day Sports Photos. I don't know why Tavares isn't banging on Lampard's door. Pick me or let me go. Maybe he is, but he just seems happy to plod along in the under-21s and sitting on the bench. Yeah, like I said, see, Vicky, we could have worn that tracksuit last night, like we said. He didn't get.
I'm surprised he didn't start. To be honest, I thought it was an ideal game for him to start.
Yeah, there must be something that they just don't see, or they can't. That's not there. That we don't see. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, surely he'd have had a run out by now. It's just
weird.
That's
a new manager now, isn't it? The fact that Lampard's doing exactly the same as Robbins makes you think that there's something there that's holding him back that we don't see because he's not. I suppose if he was playing regularly, we might get to see what the thing is that they don't like. But because he's not getting the game time, we don't get to see it, and we're all just thinking this is odd. But the fact that it's now a second manager doing exactly the same just makes you think that there must be something there. Otherwise, that's really just odd, isn't it?
Just a reminder, by the way, because we're at home to Ipswich, that FA Cup date, our home game against Leeds, will now be rearranged. That we were supposed to play with Leeds on the next FA Cup weekend 8th of February, I believe, the Saturday. That game will now be rearranged for midweek.
Yeah, they'll probably play it in April when they might be winning the league or something. Or
yeah, probably. Yeah, they need to win the league. Yeah.
This is from Assassins Unite. He's trying to give Asante as much time as he can. He's a better player than he's showing. He was West Brom's top scorer in the last 2 seasons. Yeah, I just think it's a bit of anxiety crept into his game now. But
he hasn't done enough. He hasn't done enough for me. He shows glimpses, but his end product's not there.
The last time me and Ken were in the BOX,
Didn't mention that.
Tynan was in there, Tynan Scope, and I said, remember Ken, I said to Tynan, if you'd have played in goal and had the game Collins had, would you want to play the next game? And he went, most definitely. Yeah. He says it wouldn't bother you that you had such a howler, because no, you just want to get out there and play again. You want to prove you're good enough. Yeah. So Asante be thinking it'd be like me when I was playing football, or Ken when he gets assessed when he's reffing. If he has a bad one, you just want to get out there, because in yourself you believe you're a good player. You're playing in the championship.
Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Or like
he's not really making mistakes. I mean, I suppose you can say taking chances is making mistakes. He's just not. I wouldn't say rub of the green either, because he's in the right place. He's getting in the right. Of all the chances he's had, he's actually in the right place to score the goal.
Yeah,
I think I said it before. It's the right place, right time, doing the wrong thing at the minute. Yeah, the hardest getting there.
Yeah, what's odd as well is last season when he was playing for Albion against us at obviously at the CBS, and he had that chance when he got through. You never thought that anything other than he would score. Like in that game, I thought, oh no, he's going to score now, and he did. And now, if he had that chance for us, because his confidence or whatever seems to have gone to pieces, you wouldn't feel like he was going to score that goal if he had that same chance now this season. It's just he's seen a few goals and then it sort of takes away the anxiety and he gets back to the player he was. I don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it?
It is a case of one off his backside, I think. Yeah, it's one of those.
He needs a bit of confidence, doesn't he? He needs a goal desperately.
Yeah. Paul Stratton says, never a foul on the keeper. Midfield in the first 60 minutes, much more mobile without Eccles and Sheaf. Frank has same Robin's problem, size of squad. Time for Doug to make an appearance.
He's still in Italy, I believe.
Oh, is he?
Not back yet. He had a fall. He fell off his skis.
Are you sure? Are you just making that up now? You realise we're going out to 1 million people?
No, he gets up and dusts himself down. Don't worry.
Are you?
It doesn't worry anybody like Doug.
He
gets knocked down and get up again. You know that song? You get knocked down and get up again.
A bit of Chumbawamba.
Is he the new signing, Chumbawamba? Is
he? He'll be back soon, I'm sure. We'll see him.
My daughter. This is
February.
Now, my daughter, during the game, she sent me a message, WhatsApps me. She says, do you know Aina, the footballer? I mean, Luca, think about it. And Luca went, oh, he's the guy at Forest. I said, yeah, he plays for Forest. He goes, oh, because his brother's just sold me some boot polish. And I said, oh, my next door neighbour's a mad Forest fan. Get him to get a signed shirt. And she says, I'm in Nevada. she's working in America. Oh, yeah? All right, maybe not then. So I don't know what he's doing over there. It's a bizarre situation. I thought, what a weird conversation this is. Anyway, let me get to the game. I thought, leave me alone. Yeah. Arizona or Nevada, she's in at the minute working.
Nice.
And so I said, and she went, it's too late. I've left the shop now. I said, I can't go back in there now. So Liam was. He says, it's a bit late. I do apologise, but I was just watching Ski Sunday to see if Doug was still messing around on the side or getting serious about the transfer window. I also think we got lucky yesterday. Well, I'll take the look.
I thought we deserved to win overall.
Yeah, I don't care about being lucky. We could say we're unlucky against Norwich, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some people say Man United were lucky. I thought they deserved to win today. They were down to 10 men. They played well. They're in the hat. Yeah. Arsenal missed a load of chances.
Yeah, got further than Arsenal in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gags. The ref yesterday was unbelievably poor. How he allowed them to keep going down as they had been knocked out and then surrounded the ref. I, as a ref, would have cautioned quite a few of them.
Yes.
There was one where what's his name, Windass went down, holding his ankle, and he gave the free kick and he just jumped straight back up again.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, it's so annoying, isn't it?
There was a lot of pulling of shirts. And the linesman, to be honest, didn't help the ref either. They're there to assist him, and they should be flagging for these things if the referee missed it. And they clearly didn't.
I listened to a podcast with who's the guy who's retired now? Referee.
Dermot Gallagher.
No, the other one. He was in charge of stuff. Yeah, anyway, he was saying that supposedly they are meant to be flagging for like the offsides. They are meant to flag those offsides. You know, when they let it go and then they eventually flag. He said, no, if it's definitely, they know it's offside, they're meant to flag. I'm thinking, but they don't, do they?
Don't. No,
There's so many times where we go, he's miles offside, runs down the wing, somebody clatters in, the guy who makes the tackle, he gets injured, you know, and then they get flagged for offside. I thought he was going, if it's close, they don't flag. I thought, no, they don't flag full stop. Very rarely. They wait and see where the ball ends up. Because a couple of times we should have had I think a free kick, and then he gives the throw in instead. I'm thinking that's not an advantage to us, a throw in at the minute. Yeah, we'll have a free kick. Well, with Tamworth, their weapon was up throwing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And a couple of times he gave them a free kick, and they actually said, I think they prefer the throw in, not the free kick.
Yeah.
You know,
but there's a couple of times in that game I noticed the referee didn't give Tamworth a couple of free kicks where they should have had. One of them was they should have had a free kick just before Tottenham scored and down the other end, which I thought was unlucky.
Well,
so,
Finn says, Claudio, you're banned from the box.
Yes, I quite agree, Finn.
Well, I did send a message out at one stage, didn't I, asking for the keys because I was so cold. But what's poor? Now, this is poor, and this is the club. This is the problem they got is they don't own the ground, so the boxes are sold for the games. That's how it works. So anything else is extra because the club don't own it. They have to hire those rooms out as boxes, which means they can't give them for free unless the club pays for it. So it's a real mess up, really, isn't it? I don't know. And you can't sell the tickets beforehand saying, oh yeah, guaranteed how many cup games on the ticket for the box. You can't do it, can you? You just have to see what you get in the draw. But this is the problem when you don't own the stadium. If we owned our stadium, the club could easily say the box is yours on cup matches, but obviously you pay for food and drink and all the rest of it on top. Or you pay like a normal ticket price, but you got the box.
Yeah.
But I think you're looking at £800 plus yesterday. And the Tottenham game, I think, was double that. It was astronomical, the cup game.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
Well, there's a lot of boxes behind where I sit, behind me, just empty.
But the whole top thing was empty, wasn't it? Completely empty last night.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a shame. Rob Murray, it worried me when Bannon came on, he changed the game for them. Unfortunately, that respect went when the EA Cup after his penalty, he who last and all that. I do think it was funny when the people putting the camera phones on with the flash and all that.
Yeah.
Although there's one person doing it when we were taking a penalty. I thought, turn your lights off. You know.
I tell you what, when we was at Norwich last week, there was 2 Norwich fans like sat behind their goal who had their lights on like they were at a concert, like the whole game, so like that. And I was just like, what is going on? And like,
I don't get it.
It's really odd.
I can't say too much because Ken's always filming when I'm sat next to him. So
they were filming. There was 2. They were next to each other. They just got the little light on, and they were just going like that as if they were at a concert or something. So I don't think they were filming.
And I don't have my lights on.
No.
I'm glad to hear it. Lee Beckett, EMC needs more support on the right. Kitchen and Rudy and Allen all support on the left, but massive gap on the right. Dean says, I said on Thursday, players need a run of games, not just 20 minutes. James Melia, I believe Lamps has took the job without being promised funds. Now, this is a good question.
I don't think he would have took the job, to be honest, without being promised something.
It's a worry, though. It's 11 days into January.
Yeah. And he said nothing's expected this week, didn't he? He said nothing's expected this week.
Nothing's happening.
No. And so that's what he said. He said they're not expecting any more players in before the next match.
And I know he said that time. He said he didn't like rumours, didn't like things being leaked. But I don't know, this is football. Things get leaked when they're not supposed to be leaked.
We're hearing the Chelsea youngster. That's one that's been mentioned, isn't it? Young lad from Chelsea.
Well, here's an example. The kickoff was 6:00. I got a message from Lucas at about 2:00 saying Eccles is on the bench. I'm thinking, right, okay, that's one player on the bench. Anything else, you know?
So how did he know that?
Don't know. He was out with his mates in Coventry having a drink at the time. But you know, I got a feeling I know where it's probably come from. But I'm thinking that's not good, though, is it? Really?
No.
Yeah. And the one week
as well, the young kid from Chelsea might be an exciting prospect, but still doesn't really answer the problem we've got, which is we need some experience.
We need experience. Yeah, we need an old head in there.
Yeah.
We need a Dennis Wise type player, don't we? A bit younger, obviously. You know, when he came in, he lifted the place, didn't he? That sort of player.
Yeah, just someone that can help guide the younger players and just do that job where they're sort of someone to look up to, I suppose, as much as anything. Like someone that's been a professional and like where some of these players must aspire to be. Because they must all aspire. I mean, you would, wouldn't you? You'd be aspiring to be the best you can. And if someone comes in and can help you and guide you, you're going to look up to them. And that's what we need, just somebody to help what's a relatively young team. And so it's just, I don't understand why we knew that was what we needed last summer. I can't understand why we weren't ready to do that at the minute the transfer window opened.
Yeah, preparation's been poor.
I think we need to do a loan signing with a chance to buy. And that gives the loan player the feeling that if he does really well, we're going to sign him.
Yeah.
Instead of somebody to come in, 2 players to come in for 6 months and that's it. If you want to look, I mean, why not do that? I mean, that's what pretty much Perez and O'Hare, that's what they all did, didn't they?
Well, we did that before with Ben Sheaf, wasn't he? That was a prime example.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to get it. Well, I mean, although we had some great players come, we had some duds as well. People forget the Hilsners, Castaneer. Who was the one on the wing who scored against Blackpool? Jabello. Yeah, there's quite a few. I remember having a whole massive list of 25 players we had on loan or signed who basically hardly kicked a ball when Mark Robbins was here, and they all went and disappeared. Alassani, whatever his name is. I remember Gillingham away. He looked like, we got a world beater here. Never saw him again. You know, there's so many of them. There's the lad from Crystal Palace.
I forgot about him, Asani.
Yeah, the lad at Crystal Palace who played one game. We saw him at Burton in that cup match and never saw him again. He went home crying because he was homesick, you know, after one match. There's so many that have been absolute duds. It's just that the ones that are really good have been ridiculously good. You know, I mean, we talk about Palmer going before the window. I know we didn't get anybody to replace him, but he's hardly kicked a ball for Hull City.
I don't even know if he played in that FA Cup game today.
No, well, I thought I was going to look if he was injured because I couldn't even see him in the matchday squad. I don't think he was even on the bench.
They lost on penalties, didn't they?
He's either not playing or injured. He's either on the bench or injured. That's his career, I think. I find it baffling. But I think if we get someone in on loan with a proviso, you've got the chance to buy the player, that could be a good option for us.
Yeah.
Then it gives him 6 months to impress, doesn't it? Basically. Yeah,
but that's got to have the backing. You've got to have the backing of Doug for that, haven't you? Doug's got to commit himself.
At some point, he's got to realise he's not a recruitment guy. You know, he's got to realise he is, the man with the checkbook, but he knows absolute zero about recruitment of football players.
Yeah,
and he's got to leave that to Frank because he's the manager. He knows what players he wants, and that's got to be left. You know, obviously you can have a discussion with the what's his name, the recruitment guy, but the final decision, I think, it's got to be laid with the manager.
I was thinking about this earlier as well, because obviously Austin gets quite a lot of stick. But when they had that meeting when it was him and Doug King after Robbins went, and he said that they'd had some ambitious targets in the summer, but like Doug King had basically vetoed them all. And I thought, actually, he's another person who potentially gets stick for something that's outside of his control because he can find all sorts of great players, but if King won't pay their wages or he won't pay their transfer fees, it doesn't matter who he finds, does it? They can only bring in who fits the financial criteria, and if somebody else is potentially being criticised for something that's not completely in their control.
I think that's
and we
what
don't know who the players
is.
were that he wanted to bring in the summer that he found, and they could have made a whole difference about season, couldn't they? You just don't know.
Yeah, the issue is, I think, with the wages. He just will not pay the going rate, if you like.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to signing, Sean Maguire. What an awful sign that was.
Yeah.
That was an odd one.
It was very
what was
bizarre,
the point?
wasn't it? Very
Absolutely
bizarre.
no point in signing him.
Did he play? I mean, he played one game, didn't he? Or was it 2
He
games?
came on as a sub somewhere, like Blackburn or Huddersfield. I
Yeah,
was waiting when he came on, and I can't think where it was.
Just bizarre, that was.
Yeah.
And I do, and well, I've heard that Sorba Thomas apparently was at the training ground, they reckon, last week, but he could have been at 3 or 4 clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, having a look around. You know, you don't know what's going on, do you?
No.
There's talk now that McFadden's did he play a coach, maybe Chesterfield or something? I've heard
Chesterfield are after him, which Paul Cook, the manager there, ex-club player.
Yeah, which falls into line with that message I sent about one of our players going there.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that'd be a good move for Fazdeen because he only still lives in Sheffield, doesn't he? So it'd be ideal for him.
But that player had a good game yesterday and scored a goal. So we don't want to lose him at the minute. Right, Adam Thomas says Ipswich have a 6-pointer against Southampton before us and then a tough game against Villa after, which they could get a good result. So likely they'll choose to rest a few players at the CBS. I'm hoping they will.
Yeah.
I mean,
we just got to look to get through into the next round. That's what we've got to look by hook or crook. I don't know.
Doug Bone says the drummer boy has missed a few games lately, hence why we haven't heard him.
Or maybe they've had a reserve in there. I don't know.
James says needs a new backline. Defence is a shambles. Finn says Asante not clinical enough. Be better as a creative midfielder, maybe. Matthew Stone is that DK is in Italy until February the 1st.
February the 3rd.
Yeah. Howard Webb.
Right for some minute.
Howard Webb, who was talking about the.
Howard Webb. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for that, Matthew Stone. I love when you listen to them; they make it sound like they do all the right. They're never wrong. They are never wrong, which is why I find infuriating. Yeah, it's even after the event, they're never wrong.
Did you see the first time? Did you see the Tottenham-Liverpool game where the VAR had to be announced to go through VAR? Did you see the referee speak to the crowd? Did you see that incident?
Yeah, I did, but he just explained what he gave.
Yeah, and then that's going to happen now all the time. That was a trial, and apparently he's got any VAR incident. He's going to explain to the crowd why he gave that decision.
Yeah, but in American football, they say, I don't know, holding on number 10, penalising whatever wing back or whatever you call them. He says it before. He explains it straight away. We don't. Surely you want to know what they're looking at first.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Did they put on the screen possible offside?
Yeah. Well, normally it goes up possible offside, and then obviously it goes to VAR.
Right.
So it's his job to explain what it is, or if it's a sending off, or he'll say, "I've sent number 5 off for violent conduct," or whatever. You know, he's got to explain to the crowd why he come to that decision.
Sorry, I'm just looking at this. Is a great comment. Day Sports photos. It's true the under 21 granted to VAR as a testimonial match.
Well, he's played enough games for them. Talking about VAR, wasn't it nice to have no VAR involved in the FA Cup? At all?
Yeah, because I'm quite happy for it to go. I'm just not bothered.
There was no VAR in any game, including that Arsenal Man U game, where there's a couple of instances there it might have been VAR'd, but if you like, there was no VAR involved in any game across the board, which I agree with. I think you should have, if you can't have it at one ground, you shouldn't have it at another ground because it's not a level playing field, is it? It's got to be a level playing field. You can't have a decision. A goal will be given in one game, and the exactly same happens in another game where the goal will be disallowed because of VAR.
Yeah, at no point have I left the ground thinking, "Oh, I wish I had VAR today."
No.
I don't even think about it.
I mean, we're used to it anyway, aren't we, in the Championship? But obviously, the Premier League clubs, like today's game, Arsenal Man U, they had no VAR in that game, And apparently there's no VAR until, I don't know, is it semi-finals? I think, I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
Which is good.
I know they're trialling in the women's tournaments, the hanging on to the ball, the goalkeepers, 8 seconds apparently, then you get a corner.
Okay.
And there was another one as well that they're trialling.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad shout, would it? Corner. Time wasting for the keeper.
Yeah, but it's like the added time. 3 seasons ago, that would have been 10 minutes last night.
Yeah.
And then it started like that. Didn't remember the first 2 or 3 games we had where it was like 9 minutes, and then it went down to 6.
It was double figures.
Yeah, and they obviously told no, you can't do it. The players are complaining they're playing too long. In League Two, I think last season or the season before, in League Two, the average time the ball was on the pitch was 48 minutes in League Two.
Right.
Half a game.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, you're being short. The fans are being shortchanged, aren't they?
So much time wasting.
We pay for 90 minutes football and we're getting about 60.
Paul Stratton, I know he keeps saying this. Doug played us all. Make a killing on player and ticket sales, then gone. Hope not, but his reaction to what was happening after MR went has fallen silent. Hope I'm wrong. Yeah, a lot of us have said this. He was making a lot of noise. We said it, didn't we?
Yeah.
And he's just totally disappeared, hasn't he?
Gone quiet. It's gone quiet.
Yeah. Matthew Stone-Varn needs to go. The United Arsenal game today was a great watch, largely due to not being used. 2 teams really going at each other. Phil Bevan, Panzo, Doyle, McAnally were great loans we had in the last couple of years. But imagine if you had the option to sign them. That's what I mean. It's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doyle would have been, the trouble is, I imagine at some point Man City will probably take him back in. Will they ever sell him Man City? I don't know. It'll probably go back at some point, won't it?
McNally would have been a good one to sign.
So I like McNally. I wanted him to stay, especially after I won a signed shirt, and I thought, well,
yes,
and then he went. So I thought,
you got your shirt on your wall, haven't you?
yeah, and then he went straight away. So I'd liked him to stay, but I'm not sure that I think he's really any better than someone like Thomas or somebody. They're both sort of similar types of players. Yeah. So and like he makes mistakes. I was watching. He made a mistake for Bristol City in their cup game, I think against Wolves or something. So it's all very much a likeness. But I think Doyle's the one that that would have been a coup to get him in. But
well, we'll see him Saturday, won't we? He'll be up
McNally, here. McNally, yeah.
Yes, he will be. Yeah.
I just we've got to be careful because obviously we haven't got a lot of cash. He hasn't got any money, has he? And it looks like he has been hoping that Gyökeres gets sold or something, and we get a bit of it. I don't know. It just seems a bit nothing's happening.
It doesn't look like Big Vic's going in the January, though, does it?
No.
It'll probably be the summer, I think.
Yeah, but and also for Vic, I don't know how long his contract is, but he might just see it out.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be sold, does he? He might just think. Obviously, if his buyout clause is 90 million euros, and someone meets it, then it means he can talk to people. Doesn't mean he's going to go.
Yeah.
He might just think, well, I'll stick it out for another 18 months and leave on a free and bag 50 million in my back pocket.
Nice little earner.
Yeah. It's probably been a nice time in Lisbon, isn't it? Nice weather, scoring lots of goals, European football. It's not like it's a desperate need to move on unless someone really decent comes in for it. Yeah, like you said, if you can see out your contract and then get a nice payout, that's a decent option, isn't it? Well, I think that's the trouble with King, though, when you think if that's all true about the fact that we're relying on the money from Vic. He came in all bravado, selling this dream, and he's done himself no favours in the long run because then he can't support that, and now people start to doubt him. If he'd have come in and said, "Well, this is what I want to do, but it's going to take a bit of time because we need to do this, and this is a realistic plan." But he's telling us, "Oh, we've got the best deck, and we're going to be in the playoffs 3 seasons out of 5, and all this sort of stuff." He's selling this dream, and then he raises expectations, and then he can't give us the players we need to do that. Then he's done himself no favours because all he'll do is get people turning on him saying, well, we can't trust you now because what you said, you're not standing by. So it'd have been better coming in and being a bit more truthful about where we really were and what our real ambitions were.
I mean, I know they're on a different scale, but it's like Newcastle, their Saudi owners came in and bought a load of players.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah.
And got the Champions League. Now they're struggling now because they can't spend any more. But, but for that one season, it's marvellous. But they've got like foundations there now, haven't they? And they've got players they can sell and probably make some more money. We've I just feel, when like you say, you make those statements, you got to back it up. You have to back it up. And there's a comment there from Assassin United, let's be honest, after Sisu, we're happy for anybody, which is true. But bizarrely, all these good players we hadn't sold were under Sisu. And they got to a pittance. This is what. So it all goes back to recruitment. It's been terrible for what we got money-wise compared to what we had in the past. So someone's got to take the blame for that, surely.
Yeah.
If it doesn't come off, if this season we end up where we are now, then that's a rubbish season, really, I think, compared to where we finished last season. We finished 9th last season, and that was 9th after the cup run.
It'll be interesting how many season tickets are renewed.
Yeah.
Won't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like Doug Bolam says, where's the 25 million that he had for the failed bid for the CBS?
Well, that's still in the bank, isn't it? He's still got that, hasn't he?
James Hollyoake says it's, I suppose, he thinks the sell-on is 56 now. Because the thing is, I suppose the longer he stays, that buyout's going to drop, isn't it, surely?
Oh, yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's less for us, isn't it?
And we should be thinking about how much a player's going for us to spend money. This is, Paul Stratton, Claudio, you've got it spot on. If you don't sell players, then none will come in. Hence what happened when Vic Gus was sold. Our saleable players are all injured. Yeah,
which it looks like they are at the moment, because obviously Sheaf's injured, so he won't be going anywhere anytime soon, will he?
No.
So
somebody bought somebody in the mid-close season there who were injured.
Did they?
Yeah, for big money as well. Not from us, from somebody else.
Oh. Bit of a risk though, buying an injured player, isn't it?
Well, especially Sheaf, because unfortunately he's becoming a bit like one of these like sort of like a Darren Allen to turn back in the 90s.
You need to play more than 20 odd games a season, don't you?
Yeah.
And
actually it's doing us no good, because he is a saleable asset which we could have potentially be invested into the club, but he's probably not going to sign another contract. So that's becoming a bit of an issue now, that what we're going to do financially there. That's going to be a loss, I think, in the long run.
If Doug King is serious, then this summer he needs to be offering Ben Sheaf an extension on his contract. If he wants to keep his best players, but if he's injured all the time and somebody comes in for him, we got to let him go.
Oh yeah.
You got to let him go, and come the summer, we do well to get 5 million for him. I think. If we were to have sold him, it would have been this summer after the performances last year. But he was injured at the start of the season, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It's a waste of time. Absolute waste of time.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? It is an absolute waste of time, really. It's annoying, but that's what it is.
The trouble is, we haven't got enough depth to be able to So if you've got a big squad and you've got a lot of money, you could probably afford to carry a player like that you know is never going to play week in, week out. But we can't afford that, can we? We can't afford a player who's that good to be only playing a third of the games a season.
Yeah.
Because it leaves us weak the rest of the season.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what Milan's made of, because the lad's never injured.
Yeah.
Really.
No, you're right there. He isn't. Some players can do that, can't they? Some players.
Yeah.
I mean, O'Hare was like that for a while for us, wasn't he? Until he got.
Rodoni's played a lot of minutes, hasn't he? I was looking at the team last night. Even Thomas, to be honest.
Yeah, Thomas has as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as Nino Kov says, I don't trust King anymore. Too late with his bid for the arena, and now looks convenient. James Media, I like Sheaf, but he has too many injuries, and this will stop him playing top flight. Finn, if DK don't give FL the players who'll walk, our gates will go down. DK will sell. We'd be better off with Mike Ashley. He'd get us to the Premier League.
Well, that's what a lot of people have said, isn't it, about Mike Ashley? They reckon he's waiting in the wings to take over.
Paul Stratton. Wonder if nothing happens in this window, will Frank also been played? Doug needs to come out of hiding and confirm his latest plans for the club. Well, that's the other thing as well, isn't it? Because we feel like there's no real plan regarding transfers. I mean, there might be behind the scenes. I don't want to tell the fans and that. But it's not like he hasn't even come out and said we've got a budget. No. There's nothing. There's nothing at all, is there?
No.
I mean, well, I think the trouble was that the illusion or the impression that was given with getting rid of Robin to bringing Lampard in was that I suppose we all felt, because we could all see that we were a few players short. It felt like that part of Lampard coming in would be that they'd identified what he needed as well for the second half of the season. So I suppose we all felt like that had happened really quickly as soon as we got into January.
Yeah.
And now that it hasn't, you're sort of thinking, well, actually, what is going on then? It's all a bit quiet and unsettling, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm looking at last night. So if Alan's injured, right, that's somebody else missing. They reckon Milan was struggling towards the end of the game. That's another one.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the bench going to start looking like soon? We'll have Burrows and Howley on there.
Well, hopefully Alan's weren't a serious injury. I think he took a knock or something when he was getting treatment, which is why he never came up to the lounges for his interview, for his player of the match interviews. So hopefully it's not too. They reckon it's not too serious, just a knock. So
I mean, it's funny that you got the F1 guys have turned up the other week with Sakamoto. They're trying to it looks like he's trying to get money in from elsewhere, which is he's said that at that mini forum we had.
Yeah,
the money's not. I don't know. It just seems all a bit odd, and I think we definitely need 2 or 3 signings to come in.
And we need them ASAP, really, because we're down to the bare bones as it is, aren't we?
And not just kids.
No, experience. Yeah.
And you don't have to go mad, do you? You just it's so frustrating when we're sitting there thinking we're so close to having something really good.
We're probably 2 or 3 players away from a decent side, I think,
Yeah, we are exactly where we were August 3rd when we signed Thomas Asante, and we all sat here and we all went, what we need now is this player, that player, and that player. We're set for the season. And he brought in a goalkeeper that we thought we didn't need, and another striker that we thought we didn't need.
Yeah.
Which is odd. It's like going to the supermarket for some sausages and coming back with some bread. Milk. Where's the sausages? Oh, I don't know. I just fancied some bread and milk instead. That's what it's like, isn't it? It's just weird. Our recruit.
Well, maybe they've got to look at themselves and think, well, they certainly haven't done a good job with the latest crop of recruited players they've got. So,
the thing is, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like with Bassett, like if they saw an opportunity to grab him, like for not very much money, with the idea that he's a decent prospect and that he could be like someone that we can sell on for multi-millions in the future. I'm not adverse to doing that. Like even if we didn't really need him at that moment in time, if you're thinking actually that's a great young player and no one else has really spotted him yet, and we can get him in quickly, and then like he's on our books and we can like develop him and sell him on. That's like fair enough to do that. Like there's a lot of our players that fit into that remit, but you can't do that at the exclusion of actually bringing in the players that you do need to take your club forward. Because for 2 reasons. As much as anything, these young players will all develop better and quicker with some guidance around them, won't they? So you need that. Just from that perspective, it's a fallacy to suggest that you don't need experience in your team and all these kids could just do it on their own.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, is there any more messages, or are you caught up?
Pretty much caught up. All right, well, should we end on this one?
Go on,
Matt Frankie.
Yeah.
Robin's to blame for the signings. We'll leave it there.
Okay. Car parking, coaches.
Oh, you're going to get me trying to find all the things now.
They're on there somewhere. Claudia, I know. Sorry, I haven't got access to it tonight.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yes.
Also, if you didn't, I wonder if anybody listened to Jim Brown this morning on Radio 5 Live.
No, but you can listen back on BBC Sounds if you missed it. What time was it on, Claudia?
10:30 he came on, so half hour into the show with Colin Murray and Pat Nevin.
I'll listen back to that when I get a chance.
And he mentioned the Sky Blue History podcasts, which there is a new episode up now. And we're doing another one on Tuesday, surprisingly, about the FA Cup, but not 87, because that's been done to death now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we all know about it. So Home came parking, offside parking, that's the big parking, is the company. That's where I parked last night. They got several parking areas, all reasonably priced, and also away travel.
Yep. A home and away travel. So if you're travelling away as well, they've got several sites away from home on their list. So if you just go onto the site and get a list of games that you can book with.
Well, Miles isn't here tonight because he's not feeling too good.
No, he's got a bit of a cough and cold or whatever. So he hopefully get well soon, Miles. And hopefully he'll be back on Thursday. When's your next Jim Brown podcast, did you say?
We record it Tuesday, so hopefully a couple of days after it'll be out. There's one out now. We've done about 20 odd now already. Yeah,
they're going quite popular, aren't they?
They're stacking up. You wouldn't have thought there's much to talk about, but it's surprising.
It is surprising, yeah. I mean, we've been rabbling on for like an hour and a half now, and it's we certainly we can go on all night, but we've got to stop somewhere. We've got work in the morning, so we can't carry on too long. So thanks for listening, and thanks for your messages, and thanks Claudio as normal, and thanks Vicky for coming on tonight. We'll be back Thursday, hopefully with a live show with Miles, and you'll be back, Claudio, won't you, and Vicky, hopefully?
Yeah, I've got my mate Sam, the Bristol City fans, coming on.
We'll be just back to league action. Bristol City are the visitors to the CBS, where hopefully we can pick up another 3 points in a winnable game, I think. So let's hopefully Frank Lampard's Sky Blue Army can keep the winning formula going into 2025. That's it then. A very good night to all, and it's a big play up Sky Blues. Good night.
Play up Sky Blues.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.